I'm Charles McCain. The book I'm going to review now is called A Woman in Berlin, 8 Weeks in an Occupied City. This is a book was recently published. It is, I certainly give it 5 stars. It is, no other book is like it. And it is a memoir that was actually written shortly after the war and published very briefly, but really nothing happened. But it is about the rape of the German women in Berlin by the Soviet troops. At least 100,000 German women, minimum, were raped in Berlin after the Soviets conquered it. It's a horrible story, and it is so appalling that it just makes you ill. And she discusses this. She herself was a victim of rape, and the experiences of other women. And she didn't want the book published till after her death because she wanted to sort of be anonymous. The problem was she was a well-known journalist, and so everybody figured out who she was in about a week. But it is a little-known subject. It is something that people don't want to talk about, but it needs to be talked about. The violence toward women by the Soviet troops was shocking and appalling. The number of rapes in Berlin was it's just horrifying. And remember, this is a city that had already surrendered. I mean, it was under occupation by the Soviets until they divided it up with the other powers. I certainly give it 5 stars. It can be depressing at times, but it needs to be read by anyone who really wants to understand the end of the war, what happened, and particularly something that is left out of most histories, which is the cruelty toward women in the Second World War, as well as the resilience and the courage of women in the Second World War. If you don't think women make good soldiers in combat, then you're not paying attention. I give it 5 stars, A Woman in Berlin.